Welcome to Certification Terminal. In this series of video, we are going to discuss couple of CompTIA Ye Plus Core 1 question and answers. Let's dive in. What port is utilized by Apple iOS devices for both charging and data transfer? Option A, Thunderbolt. Option B, QI Wireless. Option C, USB-C. Option D, Lightning. The correct answer is Option D, Lightning. Lightning port is the proprietary port developed by Apple and utilized by all iPhones, iPads, and iPod Touch devices for both charging and data transfer. The Lightning port offers a compact design, allowing for a sleek form factor in Apple's mobile devices. It supports fast charging and high-speed data transfer, making it a versatile port for various connectivity needs. Therefore, this option accurately represents the port utilized by Apple iOS devices for both charging and data transfer. Option A, Thunderbolt, is incorrect. While Thunderbolt is a high-speed interface developed by Intel in collaboration with Apple, it is not commonly used for charging Apple iOS devices. Thunderbolt ports are more commonly found on Mac computers for high-speed data transfer and connecting peripherals like external monitors or storage devices. Option B, QI Wireless, is incorrect. QI wireless charging is a wireless charging standard used by some smartphones, including certain models of Apple iPhones. However, QI wireless charging does not involve a physical port connection for data transfer. It relies on electromagnetic induction to wirelessly charge the device's battery. While some iOS devices support QI wireless charging, it is not the primary method for data transfer. Option C, USB-C, is incorrect. USB-C is a versatile port commonly found on many modern devices, including some Android smartphones, tablets, and laptops. While newer models of some Apple products, such as MacBooks and iPad Pros, feature USB-C ports, traditional iPhones and most iPads still utilize the Lightning port for charging and data transfer. Therefore, while USB-C is a widely used port for charging and data transfer, it is not the primary port utilized by Apple iOS devices. This option is incorrect, as it does not accurately represent the port utilized by Apple iOS devices for both charging and data transfer. Next question. What could be the cause of intermittent file access issues reported by some users on a shared folder despite the technician's ability to modify data and the apparent health of the RAID array with no changes? Option A, corrupted system files on user machines. Option B, loose cables. Option C, insufficient RAM on user machines. Option D, concurrent editing locked. The correct answer is Option D, concurrent editing locked. Concurrent editing occurs when multiple users attempt to modify the same file simultaneously. Some file systems implement locking mechanisms to prevent data corruption in these situations. If a user tries to access a file that is currently locked for editing by another user, they might experience intermittent access issues, such as being unable to open the file or receiving error messages. Option A, corrupted system files, is incorrect. While corrupted system files on user machines can cause various issues, they're less likely to explain intermittent access, specifically for a shared folder. Option B, loose cables, is incorrect. Loose cables can cause hardware malfunctions, but they're unlikely to create problems specific to file access for certain users. Option C, insufficient RAM, is incorrect. Low RAM can affect overall system performance, but wouldn't directly lead to intermittent access issues on a shared folder. Next question. What type of authentication does Level Up, an online training institute for its internal services, requiring employees to use their username, password, and a one-time code texted to their smartphone to access internal applications? Option A, single sign-on. Option B, Touch ID. Option C, multi-factor authentication. Option D, Face ID. The correct answer is Option C, multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication involves the use of multiple authentication factors, such as something you know, something you have, or something you are, like biometric authentication like Touch ID or Face ID. In this scenario, employees are required to provide their username, password, and a one-time code texted to their smartphone, which aligns with the principles of multi-factor authentication. Option A, single sign-on, is incorrect. Single sign-on allows users to access multiple applications with a single set of login credentials. However, it typically does not involve the use of a one-time code texted to a smartphone for additional authentication. Since Level Up online training requires employees to use their username, password, and a one-time code texted to their smartphone, single sign-on does not accurately describe the authentication method employed by the company. Option B, Touch ID, is incorrect. Touch ID is a biometric authentication method commonly used on Apple devices, allowing users to unlock their devices or authenticate certain actions using their fingerprint. However, the scenario describes the use of a one-time code texted to employees' smartphones for additional authentication, which is not related to Touch ID. While Touch ID is a valid authentication method, it does not match the description provided in this scenario. Option D, Face ID, is incorrect. Face ID is a biometric authentication method used on Apple devices, allowing users to unlock their devices or authenticate certain actions using facial recognition. While Face ID is a valid authentication method, the scenario describes the use of a one-time code texted to employees' smartphones for additional authentication, which is not related to Face ID. Next question. Which of the following statements is correct concerning the notification displayed on the office copier or printer indicating a stapler jam? Option A. The manufacturer documentation should be consulted for procedures to follow. Option B. Print jobs not involving the stapler may still work. Option C. The copier or printer is offline. Option D. This can be caused by trying to staple too many pages. The correct answers are Option A, Option B, and Option D. Option A. The manufacturer documentation should be consulted for procedures to follow. When encountering a stapler jam notification on the office copier or printer, consulting the manufacturer documentation is advisable. The manufacturer documentation often contains detailed procedures and instructions for resolving issues, such as stapler jams, ensuring that the problem is addressed correctly and safely. Option B. Print jobs not involving the stapler may still work. While a stapler jam notification may indicate an issue with the stapler mechanism of the copier or printer, it does not necessarily mean that all print jobs will be affected. Print jobs that do not involve the stapler function may still be processed and printed successfully, allowing users to continue printing tasks unaffected by the stapler jam. Option D. This can be caused by trying to staple too many pages. Attempting to staple too many pages at once can overload the stapler mechanism, leading to a jam. Overloading the stapler with more pages than it can handle is a common cause of stapler jams in copier or printers. Therefore, it is advisable to adhere to the recommended maximum capacity for stapling to prevent jams from occurring. Option C. The copier or printer is offline, is incorrect. A stapler jam notification does not necessarily indicate that the copier or printer is offline. The notification specifically refers to a jam in the stapler mechanism, not a general offline status of the device. Next question. What would be the potential cause behind the cracking or shattering of a mobile device screen? Option A. Dropping the device on a hard surface. Option B. Physical damage to the display panel. Option C. Outdated device firmware. Option D. Overheating of the device. The correct answer is Option A. Dropping the device on a hard surface. Dropping the device on a hard surface is a common cause of screen cracking or shattering. When a mobile device falls, especially onto a hard surface like concrete or tile, the impact can exert significant force on the screen, leading to cracks or shattering due to the fragile nature of modern smartphone screens. Option B. Physical damage to the display panel is incorrect. While physical damage is indeed a potential cause, this option is too broad. It doesn't specifically address the action that leads to physical damage, such as dropping the device, making it less precise than Option A. Option C. Outdated device firmware is incorrect. Device firmware, which includes software and operating system updates, generally does not directly impact the physical integrity of the screen. While outdated firmware might lead to software-related issues, it does not cause physical damage like cracking or shattering of the screen. Option D. Overheating of the device is incorrect. Overheating can potentially damage internal components of the device, but it typically doesn't directly cause the screen to crack or shatter. Overheating might lead to malfunctioning components or reduced battery life, but it's not a direct cause of physical damage to the screen. Next question. What is the recommended plan of action for replacing a cracked laptop screen when the replacement screen lacks instructions and the manufacturer's website offers no repair information? Option A. Return the screen and order one from a different manufacturer. Option B. Update the laptop's device driver before replacing the screen. Option C. Carefully remove the laptop's cracked screen while documenting and labeling all of the screw locations and cables or connectors. Option D. Wait a few weeks until the manufacturer updates their website with the repair manuals. The correct answer is Option C. Carefully remove the laptop's cracked screen while documenting and labeling all of the screw locations and cables or connectors. This provides a practical and proactive approach to the situation. By carefully removing the cracked screen while documenting and labeling all screw locations and cables or connectors, you can ensure that the replacement process is smoother and more organized. This approach allows you to proceed with the replacement even without specific instructions, as you are taking precautions to maintain clarity throughout the process. Option A is incorrect. This option is not necessary and could potentially prolong the replacement process unnecessarily. It also introduces additional hassle and delay in finding a replacement screen from another manufacturer. Option B is incorrect. Updating the device driver is unrelated to the physical replacement of the screen and would not address the lack of instructions or repair information for the replacement process. Option D is incorrect. Waiting for the manufacturer to update their website is impractical, especially if there is no indication of when the information will be available. It also unnecessarily delays the screen replacement, which could impact the functionality and usability of the laptop. Next question. Within a VDI setup, what is the foremost link in the chain for delivering the operating system to a thin client via network devices? Option A. Switch. Option B. Network interface card. Option C. Virtual local area network. Option D. Router. The correct answer is Option B. Network interface card. The network interface card is the interface through which the thin client connects to the network. It allows the thin client to send and receive data packets over the network, including the packets containing the operating system image. Option A. Switch is incorrect. While switches play a crucial role in connecting multiple devices within a network and facilitating data transfer, they do not directly deliver the operating system to the thin client. Switches manage traffic within the local area network and help in routing data packets efficiently, but they do not initiate the OS delivery process. Option C. VLAN, Virtual Local Area Network, is incorrect. VLANs are logical subdivisions within a physical network, created to enhance network security, manageability, and scalability. They do not inherently deliver the operating system to the thin client. VLANs help in segmenting network traffic, but they do not directly participate in the OS delivery process. Option D. Router, is incorrect. Routers are devices responsible for forwarding data packets between different networks. While routers play a crucial role in interconnecting networks and facilitating communication between them, they are not the foremost link in delivering the operating system to a thin client within a VDI setup. Routers handle traffic between different networks, such as the local network and the internet, but they do not directly deliver the OS to the thin client. Next question. Which option presents the most effective resolution for a user aiming to enhance static storage on a laptop without the ability to dismantle it physically? Option A. USB drive. Option B. Optical drive. Option C. Network share. Option D. Hibernation mode. The correct answer is Option A. USB drive. A USB drive provides an external storage solution that can be easily connected to the laptop without requiring physical disassembly. Users can simply plug the USB drive into a USB port on the laptop to expand its storage capacity. This option is effective because it allows the user to add storage without needing to open up the laptop physically. Option B. Optical drive is incorrect. Optical drives are used for reading or writing data from CDs, DVDs, or Blu-ray discs. However, they do not typically serve as a means to add static storage to a laptop. Even if the user had an external optical drive, it would not provide additional storage capacity without physical access to the laptop for disk insertion. Option C, network share, is incorrect. Network shares allow users to access files stored on networked computers or servers. While this option doesn't require physical access to the laptop, it necessitates setting up a network share, which may not be feasible if the user does not have access to a network or the necessary permissions to set up a network share. Additionally, network shares may not provide the same level of convenience or performance as local storage. Option D, hibernation mode, is incorrect. Hibernation mode is a power-saving feature that saves the current state of the laptop to the hard drive and shuts down the computer. While it can help conserve battery life and resume work quickly, it does not directly enhance static storage on the laptop. Next question. Which of the following errors might arise as a result of a misconfigured boot.ini file? Option A, low disk space error. Option B, Windows boots into safe mode only. Option C, blue screen of death with various error codes. Option D, error at boot. Windows could not start. The correct answer is Option D, error at boot. Windows could not start. This error message is often associated with boot problems, which can indeed arise due to a misconfigured boot.ini file. The boot.ini file is critical for the Windows boot process, and if it's misconfigured, Windows may fail to start properly, leading to this error message. Therefore, this option is the correct answer, as it directly relates to the consequences of boot.ini misconfiguration. Option A, low disk space error, is incorrect. This error occurs when there isn't enough space on the disk to perform an operation, like installing updates or saving files. It's unrelated to boot.ini configuration, but rather to disk space management, so it's incorrect in the context of boot.ini misconfiguration. Option B, Windows boots into safe mode only, is incorrect. This symptom is typically associated with issues related to system settings or drivers, not directly with boot.ini misconfiguration. Booting into safe mode indicates a problem with some drivers or settings, rather than a specific issue with boot.ini. Option C, blue screen of death with various error codes, is incorrect. The blue screen of death usually indicates critical errors in the Windows operating system, such as hardware failures, incompatible drivers, or system file corruption. While a misconfigured boot.ini file could contribute to boot problems, a BSOD with various error codes is more indicative of broader system issues, rather than solely boot.ini misconfiguration. Next question. In setting up your new gaming workstation, you finished installing the motherboard and processor. You observe 4 DIMM sockets, 2 red and 2 blue, labeled 0, 1, 2, and 3. What's the initial action before installing 2 memory modules? Option A, install 2 DDR4 memory modules into slots 2 and 3. Option B, install 2 DDR4 memory modules into slots 0 and 1. Option C, consult the motherboard's manual. Option D, install 2 DDR4 memory modules into the blue slots. The correct answer is Option C, consult the motherboard's manual. Consulting the motherboard's manual provides the necessary guidance for proper installation. The manual will specify the optimal configuration for memory installation, including which slots to use and in what order. Following the manual's instructions ensures that the memory modules are installed correctly, maximizing system performance and stability. Option A, install 2 DDR4 memory modules into slots 2 and 3, is incorrect. This option assumes that slots 2 and 3 are the correct ones for installing the memory modules. However, without consulting the motherboard's manual, you cannot be certain that this is the correct configuration. Different motherboards may have different slot configurations for optimal performance, and installing memory modules in the wrong slots could lead to performance issues or even system instability. Option B, install 2 DDR4 memory modules into slots 0 and 1, is incorrect. Similar to option A, this choice assumes that slots 0 and 1 are the correct ones for installing the memory modules. Without consulting the motherboard's manual, you cannot be sure that this is the appropriate configuration. Option D. Install two DDR4 memory modules into the blue slots is incorrect. This option suggests installing the memory modules into the blue slots based solely on their color. While some motherboards use color coding to indicate recommended slots for memory installation, this is not universal, and relying solely on the color of the slots may lead to incorrect installation. Again, consulting the motherboard's manual is crucial to ensure the correct installation procedure. Next question. Fine Arts Training has requested your consultation for the installation of their new file server. The existing server employs a RAID 5 array with 3 1TB 7200 RPM hard disk drives. With the heightened reliance on the new file server, they seek your advice on a RAID solution that guarantees no unplanned downtime, zero data loss, and enhanced speed and performance compared to the current setup. Given these criteria, which RAID solution from the following options would you recommend? Option A, RAID 0. Option B, RAID 5. Option C, RAID 1. Option D, RAID 10. The correct answer is Option D, RAID 10. RAID 10 combines the performance benefits of RAID 0 striping with the redundancy of RAID 1 mirroring. It requires at least 4 drives, where data is both striped and mirrored across multiple drives. RAID 10 offers excellent fault tolerance, as it can withstand the failure of one or more drives in each mirrored pair without data loss. Additionally, RAID 10 provides improved read and write performance compared to RAID 5, especially for random input and output operations. Therefore, RAID 10 is the most suitable choice in this scenario, as it meets all the specified requirements, including zero data loss, no unplanned downtime, and enhanced speed and performance compared to the current RAID 5 setup. Option A, RAID 0, is incorrect. RAID 0 offers improved performance by striping data across multiple disks, but it does not provide fault tolerance. In fact, RAID 0 increases the risk of data loss, because if one drive fails, all data is lost. Option B, RAID 5, is incorrect. RAID 5 provides fault tolerance by distributing parity across all drives in the array, allowing the system to continue operating even if one drive fails. However, RAID 5 has performance overhead for parity calculations, especially during write operations, which can impact speed and performance. Additionally, RAID 5 is not as fault-tolerant as RAID 10, because if a second drive fails before the first failed drive is replaced and rebuilt, data loss can occur. Option C, RAID 1, is incorrect. RAID 1 mirrors data across 2 drives, providing redundancy and fault tolerance, as each drive is a copy of the other. While RAID 1 offers excellent data protection, it does not offer the same level of performance improvement as other RAID configurations like RAID 0 or RAID 10. Additionally, RAID 1 requires twice the amount of storage capacity, since each drive mirrors the other. Next question. What is the primary action a technician would take when a user encounters performance issues while trying to open multiple large Excel files on a new workstation? Option A, reformat the hard drive of the workstation. Option B, upgrade the power supply in the workstation. Option C, increase the swap partition. Option D, upgrade the CPU in the workstation. The correct answer is Option C, increase the swap partition. Increasing the swap partition size on the hard drive allows the operating system to use disk space as virtual memory when physical RAM is exhausted. If the workstation is experiencing performance issues due to insufficient memory, increasing the swap partition size may help alleviate these issues by providing additional virtual memory. This option directly addresses the root cause of the performance issues and is the most appropriate action to take. Option A, reformat the hard drive of the workstation, is incorrect. Reformatting the hard drive involves erasing all data and reinstalling the operating system. This is an extreme solution that should only be considered as a last resort, especially for performance issues related to opening Excel files. Reformatting the hard drive would not directly address the specific performance issues described in the scenario, making it an incorrect choice. Option B, upgrade the power supply in the workstation, is incorrect. The power supply unit provides electrical power to the components of the workstation and is not directly related to performance issues when opening Excel files. Upgrading the power supply would not address the performance issues experienced by the user in this scenario, making this option incorrect. Option D, upgrade the CPU in the workstation, is incorrect. While the CPU is responsible for processing tasks, performance issues when opening Excel files are more likely to be related to insufficient RAM rather than CPU performance. Upgrading the CPU would not directly address the performance issues in this scenario. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if these questions add value to your preparation. We'll meet in the next video. Take care until then.